Hey everybody, welcome today. My name is Tanak Mapender. I'll be giving a webinar on how to build a marketing website using Butter CMS. This has been kind of in the pipeline for me for the past 2 months now. Back when I first gave a webinar on JAMstack, then I went into giving a webinar looking at traditional CMSs versus a headless CMS. And now finally, after working out some kinks here and there, I was finally able to get a site up and running with Butter, and I'm excited to kind of share with you with what I have. So just a quick introduction about myself. My name is Tanak Mapender. I am 26. Yeah, I had to do a little math there. Yeah, I'm 26 years old. I currently live and work in Washington, D.C., and I work for a non-corporation as a platform engineer. So I just wanted to give a little bit more context about this webinar. I'm going to be walking through how to create your very own marketing website using Butter. Looking back, you could say, this has been part of my goal for the past 2 weeks. I went for the past 2 weeks as a little refresher. If you haven't been a part of this journey with me, I'd like to touch on those two topics real quick. This way we have a bit more context in the webinar. So first, what is JAMstack? JAM stands for JavaScript API Markup. It's a web development architecture based on client-side JavaScript, usable APIs, and pre-built markup. Stacks are a combination of several different technologies used to create a web or mobile application. So JAMstack is a combination of JavaScript, APIs, and markup. It is a new way of building websites and apps that delivers better performance, higher security, lower cost of scaling, and a better developer experience, regardless of what technologies you're using. Second, what is ButterCMS? ButterCMS is an API-based or headless CMS. It allows you to do the same things as WordPress in terms of enabling your clients, marketing team, and non-developers to use a friendly interface to create marketing pages, write blog posts, manage content, but it does so in a very different way. A traditional CMS gives you a way to store content, a dashboard to edit content, and an application plus the themes to display the content. A headless CMS focuses on the first two and breaks apart the tight connection between the back end and the front end. A headless CMS stores content, provides you with the content editing dashboard, then provides your developers with an API to pull in that content into your own application's front end. So that's just a brief recap of both webinars I've given in the past. But if you wish to get the full context, we'll be sure to link those resources in the description of this webinar once it's uploaded to YouTube. As I mentioned earlier, we're going to be building a marketing site using ButterCMS. We're going to be using a Next.js starter kit that fetches content from ButterCMS via API calls. To be honest, this wasn't something planned well in advance. This sort of kind of just happened, just because of the topics I chose to give a webinar on. Regardless, I'm glad to be able to take this information from both my JAMstack and Headless CMS talks, and I'm actually going to be putting into practice to demonstrate the true value of the information that I presented before. Without further ado, let's jump into this demo, and I do apologize if we do run into any hiccups along the way. So first, we'll be cloning down the starter kit from GitHub. Perfect. And then we'll install the dependencies. While that's going, we can jump here and go into ButterCMS, just because I would like to show you where you need to get your API key. Otherwise, your code is not going to work. So pretty much right here, it'll tell you kind of the API key that you need to create a .env file in your web root. I don't mind sharing this on webinar just because I can, generate a new one. Plus, I don't have anything in on my account right now in terms of private information, so that's fine with me. Let's see. All right, once the dependencies are all installed, so we can open that up in Sublime. Okay. And just to save us some time, I'd already created my .env files ahead of time just to, save us. So I'm just going to be pasting it in here. And there is another thing that we need to update real quick, just because wasn't something that was working when I was trying to get everything up and running, and which is the footer component. Unfortunately, there's something that you need to configure in ButterCMS, and I wasn't able to get that working. So because of that, we're just going to be using a static footer, so that doesn't pull in any information from Butter. But once I get that fixed, obviously I'll come back to that and update you on the progress there. Actually, no, sources. All right, we have a new footer file over there. All right, next, I just would like to quickly head over to, this is my company's page, to kind of just give you an idea of the sort of marketing page we're going to be trying to build. So like any marketing page, we're going to be having kind of just like the generic hero. Usually have like the company logo, maybe a few links in the header, a few text, calls to action. We're going to be having a client section, just like shown on the screen right here. We're also going to be having a testimonial section, just some feedback from some of the clients, different things that we've done. In our example, we're going to have a feature section, but just for this purpose, it's actually going to be services, just to show you the kind of services that we offer. And finally, obviously, we're going to have the footer. Something that is not shown on this page that we're going to be having in our example is also a pricing section to just show you, the different prices that we have depending on what kind of services that you are going to be signing up for. All right. So we can head back to here. Dependencies have been installed. .env files in. Footer has been replaced. So now we can actually try and spin this website up and see what happens. Okay, awesome. It says that it compiled. So let's take a look here. Bam, okay, so type error. Basically, if you get this kind of error, it's basically telling you that it hasn't pulled in or it can't pull in any data from ButterCMS. And that shouldn't come as a surprise to you because we haven't created anything in ButterCMS. So I just want to let you guys know that the real task of this, of setting up this marketing website is going to be coming in Butter, because we're already using a starter kit. So in terms of code, it's there, but there are a lot of, setup that we have to do on the CMS side itself. And just before we jump into the CMS, I did want to highlight just a little bit of the code here in the index file. So basically, we're going to be fetching data from ButterCMS. We'll fetch the data required for the page using ButterCMS Pages API and the get initial props hook that's provided by Next.js. First, you can create a data object, and then we'll store that data fetched from ButterCMS. Then we'll be using the get initial props to fetch the data from ButterCMS using an async or wait call. And then finally, that data will be available as a prop, which can then be accessed as this.props.data in the render method. We can then pass this prop to our components like header, footer, or etc. using the consumer render props. Once the consumer render props is set up, we're pretty much good to go. All right. Having dealt with that, we can stop this just because we're not going to be needing it for a while, and we can actually head into ButterCMS where we're going to be creating pretty much all the pages. So right now I'm in the page section, and we're going to start creating our first page. So the first page that we're going to be creating is the general page, and this one is just going to hold the logo for our website. So come down here, select media, and we'll label that logo. Something to note, almost every page and component is going to have a slug, and these slugs are going to be important because these are already predefined in the starter kit. Obviously, if you change the slug name in the starter kit to match whatever you have defined in Butter, then you're good to go. But it's always just something to note. Otherwise, the second the program does not pick up the right slug, everything's going to break. So just note on that. All right, so we've defined the first component and hit save. It's going to take us to the other section of the web setup. Here, we're going to be calling this general, and just to quickly go back here when we're defining, as you can see this call here, butter.page retrieve. This is going to be retrieving the page name. So it's going to go butter, it's going to say which page. So right now we're defining general, and we're going to be defining all of these as we go on in this webinar. So again, it's important to keep note of those tags, slugs. All right. And then the last part of setting this up is just to obviously have a logo. And of course, there we have a not. Logos been selected, and now we can publish the page. Fantastic. So now that's page one done. So now we're going to page the next page, and this is going to be our hero section. The hero section, it's going to require us to have short text. We're going to be calling this title. We're going to choose a long text now, and this one will be subtitle. Next, we're going to have another short text component. We're going to be using this for the button text. And then we're going to have another short text for the button link, just to make sure that all have the appropriate slugs. Okay, say save. It's going to take us to the next section. And this one's going to be called hero. Hero slug looks good, and then we can save that. So here we're going to name the title as business platform experts. Subtitle, we're going to have something similar as the website we viewed before, or you can just put any text for now. Button text, let's say talk to an expert. Button link, for now we'll just put Google. Why not? All right, looks like we filled in all the appropriate fields. Slug is set, so we can publish. All right, we're good to go on that page. So now that's the header section done. We're going to create a new page, and we're going to start working on the client section now. So with client, we're going to be using a new component, which is the repeater, just because obviously we're going to have more than one client. For the repeater name, we're going to be calling this clients. And then inside the repeater, just to note, now that I've added a repeater, so we have two sections to pull in components for. If I want to put a component within the repeater, obviously I select from the right, but if I want to put something outside, then I'll select from the left. So it's just important to keep note of that as well. So next we're going to have another media component, and this one is going to be called image. And we're also going to have short text. We're going to call this name. Just double check the slugs. Looks good. We can move over to the second part of the page. So again, we're creating this client section, clients, they made that. And then here, as you can see, now we can actually start adding new clients. So for this example, we're going to have 4 of them. And over here, we can go here to select media. I've already, uploaded some of the images beforehand just to save up on time. So, for example, let's say we got data stacks. For here, I'm gonna use USPS. Oh, USPS. Say Kroger. and then over here, AHRI. Just double check that all of our images are loaded. Everything has a name. Looks good. And hit publish. So now we can go on and create another page as well. So that was the clients page. Now we're going to be working on the features section. Create your page. So features, we're going to need a short text component and call this title. We're going to need long text, and this one we'll call subtitle. And then going to go back to the repeater section. This one will be called features. And then within the repeater component, we're going to have a short text title as well. And then we're going to have long text subtitle. All right, everything looks good. Save. Make sure all this features, save metadata, and now we can start adding features. So we're going to have 4 features. Okay, and now we can just start defining them. So we're going to say JAMstack and Cassandra. Subtitle. Professional services and remote DBA. Here, we're going to say cycle. It's going to be professional and managed services. Here, we're going to say kickstarts. This is digital services. And over here, we're going to have virtual CIO. This is also digital services. Just double check everything is good. So everything has title, subtitle, title, title, subtitle, title, subtitle. All right, good to go there. Publish. Awesome. Features is done. New, create new page. Now we're going to be working on the testimonial page. For testimonials, we're going to need the repeater component. This one's going to be called testimonials. Within the repeater, we're going to have a long text. This one is going to be called body. And then I believe we have short text for author. And then now we're going to be showing an example of going outside the repeater. And I think, yeah, it's going to be short text. So yeah, just make sure it's outside of that component. And this one's going to be title. Just make sure everything is defined properly. Save. Testimonials. Make sure spelling is correct. Now we can start adding the testimonials. Oh, okay. First, let me just define this. So I don't forget. And we're just going to have 2 testimonials for right now. I'm just going to be copying over some text just to save a little bit of time. There we go. And one more. That looks good. The body, author, title. Looks good. And then we can publish this page. I do apologize. It is a bit of a tedious process, just creating all these different pages, but I assure you it's going to be worth it in the end. So we just finished testimonials. Next, we're going to create the pricing section. For pricing, we need short text. This one's going to call title. Next, we're going to use a repeater. And this one we call pricing. Within the repeater, we are going to have short text for title. We're going to have our first number component. Not pricing, price. There we go. Then we're going to go for long text called features. We're going to have short text. This one will be button link. And then we're also going to have short text for button and text. Make sure everything's defined properly. Save. Pricing looks good. Now we can, first of all, name the section. And we can add pricing. So for this one, let's go with startup. Startup for price, say 100. Feature, we're gonna just say digital services for now. Button link, more info. Oh wait, no. It's gonna be for button text. Link, and we're just gonna say Google for right now. Awesome. Title, let's say Fortune 500, why not? Price, we'll say 1,000. Features, digital services. Yeah, actually, the digital services and professional services. There we go. Button link, again, we'll say Google, text, more info. And finally, we'll say Fortune 100. What did we say? We said 1,000 here. Price, say 5,000. Digital services. Actually, I think I should layer it like this. Professional services. And EBA. Just for example. I think that should be good. So just, oh. More info and google.com. All right, just to check everything's filled out. Awesome, sounds good. We can publish that page. Go back to pages, and next we're going to be working on the frequently asked questions page. I only have 2 more sections to go after this. Okay, so for frequently asked questions, we need short text. This will be title. Then we need the repeater section again. Use. And then we're going to use long text for question. And I believe that's long text as well for answer. All right, looks good. Save. FAQs. Title. Frequently asked questions. Then we can start to add those questions. So I'm going to have 3 in total. First one, do you work remotely? Second question, offer free evaluations? No. And last question, do you build mobile applications? applications. The right price, yes. Make sure, errors, just make sure everything's filled out correctly. It looks good, and hit publish. Go back to pages. And now we are on, yes, we're on to the last section. And we're going to be creating the contact page. So for the contact page, we just need short text. This is going to be button link. We need another short text. This is going to be button text. And short text as well for description. Everything looks good. Hit save. And this was contact. So button link, like before, just gonna be using Google. Text, we're going to use start a project. And for the description, let's collaborate. All right, that looks good. And then we can publish the page. So with that, all of our pages should be done. So we have general, hero, clients, features, testimonials, pricing, frequently asked questions, contact. So now everything should be set up in ButterCMS. And should we go back to our code and run it, should be working just smoothly. So I'm gonna go back here, hit yarn dev. Okay, now the moment of truth. And voila. So now we have our website working just because it's actually pulling in data from ButterCMS. So let's go through it. So of course, at the top, we have the logo, amount. And here's our hero section, business platform experts. It's got some text, got a button. If we move on, this is our client section. We got JAMstack, USPS, Kroger, AHRI. Over here, I know I think I placed this correctly because JAMstack and Cassandra should be another section down here, but you get the idea. So this is technically the features, but we actually use it for services. So obviously we offer, JAMstack and Cassandra, Sitecore, Kickstarts, Virtual CIO. Next, you have the testimonial section, feedback from our clients on, the work we did and, how they feel like how we performed. Next section is the pricing. So our startup, Fortune 500 and Fortune 100. And also just like the different levels of services that we offer. And then next, we have the frequently asked questions. So do you ever work remotely? Yes, we do. Do you offer free evaluations? No. And do you build multiple applications for the right price? Yes. And then obviously we have, the final call to action, which is let's collaborate and then start a project. And then of course we have the footer component, which I mentioned before. Unfortunately, there's still some kinks we got to work out with how to set up this section within Butter. And unfortunately, I just wasn't able to get to that. But in the future, when I come back to this project, and just because I do want to expand on it, I definitely hope to get that up and running. So yeah, pretty much there. Now we're up and set, and we have our marketing website. Right now it's just a bare bone, but it's just to give you the idea of the possibilities that you can do working with Butter and also this starter kit. There's one more feature that I'd like to show you guys, and that is the blogs feature. This starter kit also came with code for pulling in data from your blogs, so we can take a look at how everything looks. But I'm actually going to save the integration part of how a proper blog should look like for another webinar. So first, just want to go back to Sublime Text. I realized I was kind of zoomed out. Apologies before. but I just want to note a few differences in how the code is being pulled in. So here on the index page, you can see it's saying butter.page.retrieve, so it's retrieving the page. For blogs, as you may have guessed it, it's going to be telling butter.post. And there's a section in Butter CMS, which I will go to right now, actually. Where is it? There it is. So if we go to blog post right here, I already, just pre-filled some of the blog posts, just save all the time. But obviously you can come here, create a post. You can add the content. You can configure your blog title, as well as setting up the tag, the slugs, add some tags. You can fill it into different categories, configure a publish date, and etc. Add a featured image. And, once all that is set up, you can always make calls to that in your actual code. So if we go here, blogs, it just gives you an idea that, okay, so here's the blogs. It's pulling in the data that we have set up in the blogs. Obviously, this is not the ideal way to read blog posts because who wants to read 2-inch long blog posts? But in the future, I do plan on, again, fully integrating a blog section that's going to include like things like pagination, actual categories, different tags, and even a search function. But I just wanted to show you guys this so that you have an even bigger idea of okay, so now we have the bare bone marketing website. Okay, how can we expand on it? And obviously with having marketing, people are going to want things like having blog posts to put more content out there. This way you can attract more people to your website, and then obviously, get new clients. Okay, and with that, my demo is actually over. So we'll head back to presentation itself. Oh, actually, let me stop here real quick. And to close, you should now be able to spin up a marketing website using ButterCMS and Next.js. As you have noticed, you get the same features as a traditional CMS, such as WordPress, without having to deal with high costs. However, it does require a bit of dev work to get everything up and running. FYI, Next.js is not the only framework that works well with Butter. There are tons of other frameworks out there, so feel free to check them out. I hope you found this webinar to be informative and look forward to seeing you at the next one. In the future, I hope to be able to build out the rest of the marketing website, specifically adding that blog section and anything else that other people would like to see in a marketing website. And I hope that this goes to show that working with Butter and Next.js, you can really create a really strong candidate to go against a traditional CMS like WordPress. As always, we're always looking to work and collaborate with people, so do not be afraid to reach out. And thanks again for being here tonight. Lastly, does anybody have any questions?
Yeah. Hey, I've got a question.
Yes.
Yeah, I really like how nice this website looks. Was this like a template that's part of ButterCMS's offering, or is this part of Next.js? Where do you find these templates? Yeah.
CMS. They have a bunch actually, but yeah, it's part of ButterCMS. I think it's just their where did there's an actual website itself, but they're working with a whole different range of different frameworks. And I wish there's a link over here, but yeah, they've been working with like things such as React, Vue, Gatsby. I think it was close to maybe 20 of them. So yeah, they kind of cater to a whole a whole range of different developers and people of different backgrounds. I've only been able to explore, Next.js to this degree. I've looked at some of their Gatsby and Angular kits as well. Those look interesting. Might be something I would look at in the future. But yeah, whoops. Oh, wait, I think I just saw it. No, that's Gatsby's own. Yeah, I'm failing to find the library, but yeah, it shows somewhere on the website. It has a section that kind of shows you everything that all the starter kits that they offer, as well as their documentation, and pretty much everything that'll get you up and running.
Great. I have another question. So I noticed that when you were giving the demo, there's these repeaters and you can set up these different repeaters for different purposes. Let's say I have a site that I make, like the one that you made, and I like the content structure that I set up, and I want to make another website. How would I, well, first of all, export the structure and import it so that I don't have to, like you were saying, right, there's a lot of work to set this all up.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other one would be, can I export the structure and the content?
That's a good idea. That's a good question. Yeah, because it is quite the tedious process having to go and create and declare all these things. To be honest, I'm not sure. I don't know if they have that ability, or I don't know if I don't have access to that ability, just because if you can see right here, I'm actually on a trial period. When you sign up, you get a 30-day trial period. And that's not something I have explored on my own terms. But I feel, I'd hope they have some sort of feature like that, just because, it would make, or it would cut the dev and setup time, by a lot for a lot of people. And also, at least for if people were to come, to a company like us and ask us to set them up, that just, again, just cut so much time because we're able to kind of maybe take a bare bone or kind of like a standard template, upload that, and then obviously either start to expand or reduce from that standard template.
Gotcha. Okay, thanks.
Anybody else have any questions? Okay, well, with that, I'd just like to say thank you very much for tuning into my webinar, and I'll see you on the next one.
Thank you.